Forget what you learned in school. Never mind what your parents told you, and disregard what your friends say. From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys. For the next several minutes, they'll take you on a journey through the political jungle. And when your journey is over and you're safe at home, they promise you'll be stronger, smarter, and just plain better. So buckle up, hang on to your ears, because your journey starts now.
Huh. That's odd. I think it would be the first time that she'd ever, seen a man with his pants down. But anyways, knock, knock. Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
We're closed?
The government's closed?
We're closed? The eagle out front should have told you.
I just want to see the World War II monument.
The one outside?
Yeah.
That everyone could just walk to?
Yeah, the sidewalk.
It's closed.
How the hell can it be closed? It's a sidewalk.
We're closed.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this.
So, Brian, day three of the government shutdown.
Day 3.
I walk to the studio usually because I'm not lazy. You drive to the studio. How the hell did you get here without functioning roads?
It wasn't easy.
Yeah, I bet it wasn't.
It wasn't easy. You know what happens? The roads were moved.
Were they?
Yeah. Without the government, the roads just arbitrarily move around. The government keeps the roads where they're at.
There's nobody to keep them regulated and calibrated.
All I know is I ended up here after several hours.
Now, speaking of roads, something I heard today, whether it's true or not, but it was a representative from Michigan, a U.S. representative from Michigan. I can't remember, Tim Wahlberg, maybe. He mentioned that the road, and I don't know if it was Mount Vernon Highway, but one of the highways that heads, I think, from Alexandria goes to like Mount Vernon, and there's roadside areas, parking spots on the side of the road that overlook the Potomac River, I think. Those were barricaded off.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's what he said he heard. And now, I don't know. He's a representative, and they never lie, so it had to be true.
Well, let's take care of some paperwork first, and then
I'm just so angry.
We'll get into that because
the government.
It's so much crap in here. I want to just say that today is Thursday, October 3rd.
Ooh.
October already, right? It was almost, it was like 85 degrees here in Michigan, which is just wonderful. I'll say in a politically incorrect term, an Indian summer. We're broadcasting from the back room of the Shutdown and Suds bar and studio, the Shutdown and Suds. Get it? Shutdown and Suds. In a large city in what country, Nate?
Well, since the government shut down, airlines are shut down, we are in the United States of America.
We couldn't leave.
Now, I'll tell you, I spent a week.
You know what? I noticed. I went to look at my passport.
Yep.
It was gone.
It was
just gone.
No passport. You can't get in or out of the country.
I don't know what happened to it.
Because the government is shut down. I did spend
a
week
little
outside.
Barricade across it.
I did spend a week outside of the U.S. in a little communist country called San Francisco. Holy cow. Holy cow, that place is different than Michigan, that's for sure. But it was good. But we are in the U.S. What's that?
Didn't you get yelled at by a cop there?
I did because not even thinking about it, I'm driving down the road, right, because I know how to drive a car. And I never talk on my cell phone in the car, but I got a phone call and answered it. And, yeah, the cop, I was driving. I was talking on the phone.
He was walking a beat, wasn't he? On the side of the road?
Well, so in San Francisco, you can't look both ways without seeing a police officer standing on the street. Yeah. No car in place. In fact, I saw a cop pull up and let a cop in, and it must have been shift change.
Yeah.
It was like it really weird.
Here's a coupon for some Dunkin' Donuts. Thanks, Fred.
Yeah,
so what you're saying
he
is
just screamed at me, you can't get off the phone, and I yelled, communists, and then I got off the phone because he was running after me.
Yeah, of course, and you stepped on the gas. I heard you can't throw a liberal without hitting a cop in San Francisco.
You really can't.
Yeah.
You can't. And you can't throw a conservative.
You can't find
There
one.
aren't any. I was so out of place.
Find one.
I was so out of place.
Did they make you wear the T-shirt with a big C on it? The big red C?
They did. I have big red C's. Have you seen them?
No.
On my drum head, I had 2 C's for a conservative. But
Really?
yeah.
I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah, not anymore. Now I have this really cool skull.
Yeah.
Someone drew for me, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I needed a sweatshirt in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, we talked about this because I'm a big guy. I said, Nate, get me a T-shirt or something.
I went to like 5 places that here in Michigan,
Sure,
I
we're
could
the
buy
fattest state, the fattest state in the country.
I could buy a sweatshirt. They didn't have my size. They
No.
all looked at me like, "Are you kidding me?"
They go up to medium.
Yeah.
And once you could go to the fat shop and get a large
And
if you're lucky.
if you buy a medium, you get dirty looks. Like, oh, you need to exercise.
Wow, tubby.
It was hilarious. It's a good thing I'm not offended.
All
and
we
I don't
have is
care. It was
anorexia and anorexia plus.
Now, I went to Target. I found one sweatshirt in one crappy style in my size. That was the only thing in the city I could find. It was hilarious.
And was it for Weight Watchers or what?
It was.
I don't know.
It was. It had a
The WWF?
Yeah, never mind. All right.
Well, anyways,
248-455 odds. You could give us a call 248-455-6337.
I was just going to do that.
I know you were.
Hey, be sure to listen to the Nathan Nephew Show. He's a jerk, but he's got a good show.
Who?
Number 1 again on Red State Talk Radio. Number 1 show on Red State Talk Radio, the Nathan Nephew Show. You can listen to his shows where?
NathanNephew.com. Or,
How
like
clever.
you said, Red State Talk Radio is probably the proper place to do it if you look at the broadcast schedule, which
Yeah.
is where you can also find this show if you're not listening to it live right now.
We were close. We were almost in the top 5. We were.
We will be. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
we will be. We're live Thursdays at 8 p.m. in case you didn't know that. Like we're right now.
Shutdown.
Yeah, so I've been I'm not very active in political, conversations or anything. I generally just
all you
avoid
talk about is
talking about politics.
hey,
but
you know what? The Tigers are in the playoffs, Well, what's the Tigers?
What are the Tigers?
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers. Go Tigers.
Okay.
Talk about something besides politics. All you talk about is politics.
This is a political talk show.
Yeah, I don't mean here.
Oh.
I mean when you're in the bathroom, when you're at work, when you're wherever. At your church or wherever you go.
But this shutdown thing has really gotten people fired up on both sides. People
I
that
love it.
don't talk about
I love
politics. And the problem is the people that aren't generally involved in politics.
Right, and they don't know anything about
They see the
anything.
shutdown, they think it's horrible because
Right, they don't understand it.
you're not getting Social Security checks, military's not getting paid.
That's not true.
The VA's not open.
Well, I have a very close
Oh, wait,
relative
none
of
of
mine
that's
that
true.
I won't say, but she's like, are we going to get bombed now by other countries? Does that mean we have no military and stuff? And I said, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
We're going to die.
Of course, that's what it means. What else could it mean? It doesn't mean that we actually pay the people that need to be paid. The essential employee, or I'm sorry,
80% of the federal
the
government.
accepted employees. Because remember,
yeah.
calling them essential or non-essential is offensive.
Degrading. Yes.
It's very degrading. So they are accepted from the shutdown or not accepted from the shutdown. Accepted, EXCEP.
So it's political correctness.
Yeah. So they're all essential. I mean, the 800,000 people that are no longer working in the federal government and nobody's really noticed.
Right.
They're so essential. They're the ones that hold the roads down.
Well, that explains a lot on my trip over here. I couldn't find the road.
I mean, it depends. Yeah. Obviously, Republicans blaming Democrats, Democrats blaming Republicans. Whose fault is it? The Democrats, the president of the United States, saying the Republicans won't compromise on anything because
and then he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm not signing any damn thing."
Yeah, when we talk about compromise, the Republicans in the House passed a bill that completely defunded Obamacare, but would have funded the entire rest of the government. The Senate said no, so the House compromised and said, "Okay, let's delay the individual mandate on Obamacare for a year and fund the entire government, including Obamacare." Democrats say no in the Senate. They say, nope, we're not doing that. the Republicans in the House say, okay, we'll fund Obamacare. We'll start Obamacare on October 1st, which it did. Let's just get rid of your subsidies and Congress's subsidies and exemptions from Obamacare. Nope, we're not doing that.
Can't do that.
How much compromise do the Republicans need to do in the House before the president and Harry Reid come out and say, well, yeah, they kind of compromised. After that, they said, let's just sit down and talk then.
He won't even do that.
They won't. They will not sit down and talk. They're not interested in talking at all. They won't accept anything except 100% funding of the government. They won't accept anything that does any damage to this monstrosity of a bill, Obamacare, that nobody wants.
Oh, God, it's horrible. And as people are finding more and more about it, they're not liking it.
And it did. The exchanges opened. Well, they were supposed to open on October 1st.
They did, but I guess the website crashed.
There's like 25 states that not a single person signed up in. There was a very healthy 30-year-old that qualified for Medicaid. I'm serious. He got Medicaid.
That's pretty good.
He was paying like $30 a month. Now he's paying nothing.
I've seen some of the. I looked at some of the bronze package because they have various. They have the gold and silver and bronze and all that. Yep. And oh my God, even the bronze. It was $300 or $400 a month. Mm-hmm. And most people, they can't afford that. But then it was the copays were like $70 to $80 for an office call.
Yeah, you're talking a $12,000 deductible.
And some of these deductibles were incredible. I mean, who can afford that? I can understand why people wouldn't buy that. And what's sad is the businesses now that might have been offering some kind of health care, are going to the 30 hours so they don't have to give it to you. They're cutting down on the employees. Mm-hmm. They're not expanding because of the cost. This is the worst thing that could happen to this country economically.
Yeah, and let's not forget that when it was passed, and this is the
how
argument.
It was sold. You mean and touted?
No, literally how it was passed. This is the argument that I hear is it's already law. Leave it alone. It's law.
Well,
you lost.
That's now.
Congress, in fact, changes laws all the time. Right. And when you say it passed through the procedure that it was supposed to pass through,
and it's like, oh my God, it's law, so it's in stone and we can never change it. That's crap.
Yeah, laws are amended all the time.
Who thinks about that? Yeah, a bad law is a bad law, and you fix it.
Not to mention that it was passed by taking a House bill that was passed, completely stripping the bill but leaving the bill number, and replacing the contents of that non-Obamacare bill with Obamacare, so they didn't have to worry about the House passing an appropriations bill first, which is what the Constitution says.
And of course,
it was shady in the middle of the night. Let's vote for this thing and pretend like we did it right.
Well, okay. I mean, politics happens like that all the time. Okay, they also lie to people. It's going to be free health care. It's this panacea that they're trying to portray. Everybody will have health care. No one will get turned down for pre-existing conditions. But they didn't tell you that you're going to have to pay extra if you have pre-existing conditions, and everybody's going to have to pay something unless you have, absolutely no income at all, and then you'll have something like Medicare, which we already have for these people.
Yeah,
so why do we need this type of boondoggle?
It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know how it's not obvious to more people. And if the media would cover things accurately, it would be. They would get it.
Well, yeah, and not carry the water of the president.
Did you see that on healthcare.gov? I think it might have been a month or two ago, but relatively recently, they just removed the references to free healthcare on their frequently asked questions. Now it's just affordable, or something like that. It used to say free because they were lying to people, and they finally realized, well, now that it's going to open, we better get rid of that.
Yeah, we better get it.
Truth in advertising.
This is really a horrible, horrible thing. I mean, our government has done horrible, horrible things in the past. This is really bad, and I'm not saying that people don't deserve health care, but to force people to buy it is wrong.
Yeah.
Your government should not tell people what they have to buy and what they can and cannot buy. I mean, it's bad enough that people would argue and say, well, you have to buy car insurance.
No, you don't.
But that's right, you don't.
No, you don't.
There's no penalty for that. You don't have to drive a car if you don't want to.
Right.
This says you must and will have health care.
There's
insurance.
literally nothing else that you're forced to buy by the federal government. Literally nothing.
Right.
And that's the fundamental argument that I don't know how any liberal who loves this bill can get over. I don't understand it. If it's a perfect bill otherwise, that still disqualifies it to me. That you can't do that. I don't care if everything about it is perfect and will make everyone's life perfect. You cannot force people. You cannot force people to purchase something.
Right. I agree. And purchase it, from the government in some respect.
Come on now. It's private industry.
I know, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Keep going. I forgot.
No, I got nothing. I was going to move on to Harry Reid.
Yeah, but I was going to say something about the thing, but I can't remember.
Say it.
I don't remember. It'll come up, and as soon as you're in the middle of Harry Reid, I'll go, oh, eureka!
Yeah,
I have
that's
it.
Fine. So after these non-negotiations that went on between the House and Senate, did you get it?
No.
Okay. Harry Reid's having a press conference. He's asked by a CNN reporter, and you'll see what he's asked. Basically, because what the House has decided to do now is they're going to do what they can constitutionally and split the appropriation bills up. And now let's not forget, this is continuing resolutions. This would be avoided had a budget been passed like is required by the Constitution. The things we're talking about are continuing resolutions to fund the government through December. So it's not even the way we're supposed to be doing anything to be funding the government anyway.
Worst president ever.
Yeah, and Congress.
Yes, and Congress.
I mean, for sure. But what the House decided they'll do, fine. We'll fully fund the VA. We'll fully fund schools. We'll fully fund NIH separately. We'll send all these separate bills over, fund everything, and then, of course, at the end, not fund Obamacare. That's their right. It's how the process works. You want to talk about the legislative process? That's how it works.
Right. It's not pretty, but that's how it's done.
So he was asked, well, if they're going to fund NIH, healthcare for children and things, why wouldn't you do that? And this was his response. Kind of a long minute and a half, but
that's fine.
I want you to have the whole context. This is the exchange between one of his friends, a CNN journalist,
on his side,
and him.
You all talked about children with cancer unable to go to clinical trials. The House is presumably going to pass a bill that funds at least the NIH. Given what you said, will you at least pass that? And if not, aren't you playing the same political games that Republicans are?
Yes.
Listen.
Fair question.
Senator Durbin explained that very well. And he did it here, he did it on the floor earlier, as did Senator Schumer. And it's this. What right do they have to pick and choose what part of government is going to be funded? It's obvious what's going on here. You talk about reckless and irresponsible. Wow. What this is all about is Obamacare. They are obsessed. I don't know what other word I can use. They are obsessed with this Obamacare thing. It's working now, and it'll continue to work, and people will love it even more than they do now by far. So they have no right to pick and choose.
But if you can help one child who has cancer, why wouldn't you do it?
Listen.
Is that Head Start Mom really good?
Why pit one against the other?
Why would we want to do that? I have 1,100 people at Nellis Air Force Base that are sitting home. They have a few problems of their own.
That's exactly like cancer.
To have someone of your intelligence suggest such a thing maybe means you're irresponsible. Yes.
Yeah, so then, of course...
Notice how he attacks her.
Yeah, being the upstanding citizen that this guy who talks like he has no balls is, he attacks this woman.
Well, you're very intelligent. Why would you ask me such a question?
Yeah, maybe it means you're not responsible. I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, Mr. Reid, the House of Representatives has the right to not fund Obamacare because the Constitution says that the House of Representatives is, in fact, not only do they have the authority, whatever you want to call it, they have the duty to initiate bills, appropriation bills that deal with spending. Also, to say that Obamacare is going to work out and people are going to love it, I mean, we're seeing that that's not quite happening yet.
That's a lie.
Absolutely a lie. Nobody wants it.
I mean, I suspect a small percentage of people will get some health care, but I think they get health care now. In the regards to, certain emergencies and things.
And on to
they they get health care.
Onto the real terrible thing that he says when she pulled the gun control argument. If you could save just one child, which is what they always say about guns.
Right.
Why wouldn't you do that? And he says, why would we want to do that? I have 7,000 or 11,000,
1,100 or
whatever Navy people sitting
at home.
Well, two things. One, we're talking about dying children, not somebody who is sitting at home. And of course, they have their own problems.
Yeah.
Military, whether civilian or military, I want them to have their jobs, of course.
Right.
But those are apples and oranges, like you said. And the House is going to fund that department as well. They have said they plan to fund all of government except Obamacare, of course, which I fully support. And I have to say, I kind of support the shutdown because the less federal employees there are, the less that can bug me.
Although they were, well, we'll get to that later. I was going to say there's still a few out there. Like, excuse me, the ability to put up barricades at sidewalks and World War II memorials.
That's a good one. Let's talk about that when we come back. Remember, 248-455-ODDS, 248-455-6337. Also look us up, facebook.com/@oddshow. We will be right back.
Say, would you all like to listen to the Odd Show with Nate and Brian? And then come on down in my basement and have a popsicle.
The voice of American conservatism. WRS Digital, Red State Talk Radio.
My Parents Open Carry, a pro-gun kids book from White Feather Press. 13-year-old Brenna and her parents spend their day in typical fashion. But what's not so typical is that Brenna's parents lawfully open carry handguns for self-defense. And the Strongs join a growing number of families who are standing up for their Second Amendment right and bringing gun ownership out of the closet. Order your copy of this unique kids book at myparentsopencarry.com.
Fact. U.S. credit card debt is 8 times larger than it was 30 years ago. No wonder you and I are feeling the credit card crunch. You're not alone. Increasing prices and the costs of credit are stretching budgets and preventing people just like us from getting ahead or just catching up with our debts. At American Financial Debt Relief, we can help. We have tested ways to help you get out of debt. Find out how now. The call is free to learn more. If you qualify, we can reduce your interest, show you how to stop your debt from getting larger, and help you get out of debt faster than you can by making minimum payments. So if you're falling behind on your credit cards or medical bills, give us a call right now, where a free 5-minute call can change your life.
800-978-4815. 800-978-4815. Reduce your credit card debt. Call now. 800-978-4815. 800-978-4815. Obama wants your money, and he's determined to get it. He wants your money to buy off unions, his Wall Street cronies, and to expand the Obama welfare nation. Well, Swiss America is determined to stop him from stealing your money. They want to send you an award-winning film, I Want Your Money, on DVD that exposes his plan. It'll help keep the government's hands off your money using gold, silver, and other hard asset strategies to protect your hard-earned money. Call today and request the DVD, I Want Your Money, normally $19.95, yours absolutely free. Let Swiss America show you how to use gold, silver, and other hard assets to protect your hard-earned money. Call now. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call Swiss America right now. Learn all about investing in gold. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call now.
Washington kicks World War II veterans back out of their memorial. They kick D.C. back in the balls again.
Good for them.
You know, what I don't understand is why. I mean, I do understand it. It's political bullcrap, and it's coming right from Obama. I mean, he is saying to his staff, let's make this as dicky as we can. Republicans and really make the American people suffer, the children, the veterans, whoever. Let's make them really feel this, because Obama knows that the American people aren't going to notice the government shutdown for weeks, if not months. So where do we get them where they hurt? Tourist dollars. So what we're going to do is we're going to close sidewalks. Now, the World War II Veterans Memorial is an outdoor monument that's on the mall. And I don't know if you've been to Washington. I've been to Washington.
Been there, yep.
These are basically wide open outdoor memorials that you can just walk down the sidewalk and you can meander through. It's not like you pay a fee to get in there. It's not like they have staff overseeing them. Nothing like that. These are outdoor venues that you just walk up and go, and you reflect upon the sacrifice that these people made. They put up barriers blocking the sidewalks, saying we're not going to let anybody in there because we know it's going to piss people off.
But as a good friend of ours mentioned, who will empty the trash cans?
Yeah. That was you, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was actually a friend of ours.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
come on. They don't normally have police, guarding these things when they're open.
I've been there, and the trash can emptying is a maintenance issue done by the city, and the Park Service.
Of course.
Come on,
the Park Service is closed.
Right. Okay. So
except for the police and the people to move the barricades.
Yeah, and the people that shoot other people. But we'll get to that later. But the thing is, I don't know, 3 or 4 busloads of veterans came there. Some from Michigan, Georgia. I don't know. They were from all over.
They're these honor flights, is what the kind of program or what they're called.
Right, and so you have a bunch of volunteers. There were young people and middle-aged people that were helping these veterans who are all up in their 80s now, many in wheelchairs. And these people go to the monument. They want to see this monument. They've never seen this monument.
Some of them never
to
have.
Their sacrifice.
And this might be their last chance to see it.
I mean, these people are in their 80s and 90s. And they go there and they go, sorry, we're closed. The eagle out front should have told you. And you know what? The Nazis couldn't keep them out of France.
Yeah,
they couldn't keep them out of Berlin.
That's the best thing I saw. Normandy wasn't open either.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
I mean during World War II.
I see what you. Yeah, well, Normandy. We're going to play into that because that's a historic
closed
thing too.
Again.
But you're not going to stop these guys, and so they went in there, and the park police are like, well, what are we going to machine gun these guys down now? The Japanese couldn't kill them. I don't know if we can. And so they stood back and they let him go.
To be fair,
what?
The police that were there, it seems like they were generally on board with it.
Yeah.
The one actually said, "I'm a veteran too. I'm not going to stop them. I'm waiting for orders."
Right, and that's what the Nazis said too. We're waiting for orders.
Well, what they said was, "We're following orders."
Yeah, well, but that's what he was implying.
Yeah,
I heard that, but still,
I think he said that because he had to, because it is his job.
Okay, that's fine.
But I wasn't there.
But
so who knows? I don't know why you're doing that with your glasses. Really,
they're
weird.
Fogging up. They're fogging up. I don't know how my glasses are fogging up. I stop breathing. That's what you always say to me.
Better than the pair you had on our last show.
Yeah, they were very, very effeminate. My point.
Why the hell is the Grand Canyon closed? It's a giant hole in the ground.
It's been there for
Statue of Liberty.
It's been there for at least 6,000 years, right? Because it's as old as the Earth is. But it's been there a long time. He's got a headache now. I can understand the buildings, where you got to go into the building and there's electricity and there's.
If I'm going to understand any of this, that's what I understand.
You say, okay, you're going to shut down, actually where it takes money to run it, but it doesn't take a lot of money to run a sidewalk.
Well, it actually
no
takes,
more money than it does to run a road.
It actually takes more money to close the sidewalk than it does to keep
and
it
open.
That
was the thing that
which may be illegal. And we'll get in. I know you wanted to talk about the anti-deficiency law.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And the Constitution,
extra money. Yeah.
The Constitution that says if money is not appropriated to a specific thing, it cannot be spent.
Yeah,
I doubt there was money appropriated to putting roadblocks up on sidewalks.
And then having
a guard sit there.
Yeah, guards sit there.
The crap that really gets me, all of the websites, you go to nasa.gov, right?
Yeah.
Website closed.
Right.
It costs the same amount of money to leave the site up. I mean, somehow
that
handle
is
requests
bull
and things.
Crap.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
I can't go there just to read information.
Right. I've seen businesses that have been out of business for a year and their website's
still up.
And how does that happen? They don't have any money that is going to the website. That is political, and I despise it. And it's intentional. And this bastard in the White House is doing that.
On purpose, for sure.
Absolutely. And
for sure.
You know, okay. Now, if you think this is just Washington, D.C., it's not. Two things that we'll talk about. The Claude Moore Farm receives no federal funding. It is on federal land. It's a farm museum that's self-sufficient, self-supporting, receives no federal dollars to operate. It's been operating for 40 years. Park Service personnel came in there, armed personnel came in there and kicked all of these people out. These aren't federal employees. These aren't, even state employees. This is a private memorial that happens to be just on state land, doesn't cost the federal government anything other than it's on property that the state claims they own, which is basically what the people own, right?
Federal government owns, right?
The federal government owns, which means you and I own it. Kicked out.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
If that's not political, that's crap.
You know, it's funny. They wanted to close Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is privately owned. So what did they do? They closed the parking lot in front of Mount Vernon. A big hunk of cement.
Yeah.
Closed.
Because we can't.
Mount Vernon's technically open because it's privately owned.
Because we can't afford to keep that parking lot and that cement there.
No, right. No, because
it takes federal employees to keep
like
the cement
the roads
down.
on the way over here. No one would be able to find their car when they came out because it would move from its parking spot without the government being open.
You talked about the World War II veterans storming Normandy. Guess what? Omaha Beach, there is a U.S.
which is near Normandy.
It's not far away. It's just down the coast.
Yeah, kind of.
In France. It's a big beach.
Yes. Also relevant to the whole World War II thing.
Almost 10,000 military people dead there. There's a cemetery. There's a monument there. They closed it in in France. They also have 24 U.S. military cemeteries overseas that they closed. There's some in Mexico, Panama, Tunisia, Philippines. They're all going to be closed for the duration of the shutdown. They're all maintained by the American Battle Monument Commission set up after World War I. And they're closing those as well. And if that isn't political, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's obvious, like you said, like I said, like everyone's saying, they're trying to make it as painful as, or at least as visible as possible.
Visible and to get people to complain
and say,
about
well,
it.
It's the Republican shutdown because they won't compromise.
Right, and to put pressure on the people to pressure their congressmen and their senators.
And I
can't go to the farm now. I can't go see the monument. So you guys got to do something. That's what he's hoping is going to happen. Unfortunately, what's happening is, the government's shut down. We're not going to have federal agents busting my pot farm.
Now I'll tell you, the RNC, the Republican National Convention, offered to pay to keep the World War II memorial open for a month, and they said, "I hope the Democratic National Convention follows suit." The DNC said, "That's silly."
But wait a minute, it's a sidewalk. What's it going to cost to keep it open?
Well, right.
A few $100 a week? I don't know. To empty the trash cans?
Maybe Reince Priebus, the chair of the RNC, offered to go empty the trash cans.
I don't know.
Which he should.
I would do it.
He's a jerk, but whatever. Yeah, no. In the Navy, football, right?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Football game canceled. United Airlines and a couple other people said,
we'll fly him.
We'll fly him there.
Notre Dame game.
The response?
Yeah.
It's not a purely financial issue.
Yeah,
well, what the hell else is it?
Yeah, well, if it's not financial, then it's political.
The only thing we are talking about is funding of the government. If it's not financial, what is it?
Political.
Oh.
And
there's that.
That's the saddest thing of all.
This is really, I told you before the show, I don't get into politics often, but I'm starting to now, and this really has me fired up. And now, the other thing I mentioned to you before the show, that it was private. I don't want to bring it up, but I may be in the Washington, D.C. area next week. So if it's still closed, which
are you going to go see?
I have heard. I'm going to the World War II Memorial.
Good for you.
Normandy couldn't stop them, but probably could stop me.
They'll probably stop you.
It would be kind of cool to see it shut down.
Take a recorder with you.
Is that allowed?
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure it is.
I don't know. It's like communist China there.
No, you're a reporter for our show.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So you just want video when I get arrested.
Yeah, and shot.
That's not funny.
Nice to show your
Speaking of that, just today, and we have very little information, so I'm going to implore everybody to just not assume they know what happened and not, see initial reports and take them as gospel.
I think this is.
You can say
sad.
Whatever you want to say.
Go ahead.
The initial report was that there was a car shooting near the Capitol.
Shots fired was the initial
in
report.
DC. It turns out apparently a woman
and her child
with her child
tried to breach a White House security at 15th Street and E.
Security somewhere tried to get through
at the White House
area somewhere.
Yeah,
probably near the White House. There was a police chase.
That's what we're getting. Yeah,
and
12 blocks.
Yeah, some number of blocks.
One law enforcement person was injured, but non-life threatening.
Allegedly.
And a woman finally crashed her car, and they blew her brains out.
Allegedly.
Well, that's what we're getting.
I think it might be confirmed that she's dead. She was shot. I don't know whether she shot back or not. I don't know.
And the sad part is,
don't know what
she was working
doing.
for Domino's Pizza, and she was just trying to deliver a pizza to the White House.
Well,
she was running late. It was 30 minutes. She was 38 minutes, and Obama had her executed.
Yeah, that ass Obama. He does not like his. Well,
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Shooting her is true.
It's not funny because it's tragic.
It is
whatever
tragic.
Situation it is. If she was completely guilty of something that she should have been shot for, it's tragic that the police officer got hurt. But what I was going to say is that Obama would have needed the pizza rush so he could eat it before Michelle caught him.
Right. And he has a smoke afterwards.
Yeah, he hasn't smoked in 8 years. Did you know that?
Yeah, there's nothing like a good slice of pizza and a cigarette afterwards.
And beer.
Believe me, and a beer. No, the point is, or there is no point. The thing is, it's happening now. It happened today, and we don't have a lot of information. But the thing is, what was going through her mind? What causes? Was it a medical issue that somehow she had some kind of?
You mentioned beer. I thought I'd have one.
Okay, PBR, can't go wrong. Maybe she had a mental issue, medications issue, or something that caused her to go a little crazy. I mean, she had a kid in there, so I mean, it makes it a little weird.
Well,
what was going on? I don't know if it was a protest, if it was a suicide by cop type of thing. What was going on? It's very strange that.
Quite possibly with the government shutdown, she may have been going down I-75 in Michigan and the road shifted.
Because the government shut down.
Right.
Oh, yeah, she might have thought she was in Michigan and actually ended up outside the White House.
Because the roads aren't functioning.
I got it. It's a great joke.
I think there is...
Tragic.
I think there is a sense that the shutdown is going to last all the way up to the next crisis, which is the debt ceiling, and that's in the middle of October, coming up on it. The prediction is October 16th. Those are never accurate, but we'll run out of money to borrow. We can't borrow anymore because we've reached our limit. And when you can't borrow any more money, Brian, you need to raise the limit of money to borrow. You know that.
That's what I always say to my bank when I need more money.
You reach your credit limit, borrow more. You reach that, borrow more. You reach that, borrow more. And then lie and say that if we don't borrow more, we can't pay our bills, even though we do actually have enough fake cash sitting around to pay the interest on our bills. So that is bull crap. But I have a feeling the government will shut down until that happens. It'll be a real crisis. Real. See these quotes, everyone listening?
Yeah.
Real crisis.
Air quotes.
If the Republicans that... Let me remind you, Republicans, you were elected on the premise that you would do everything you can to get rid of Obamacare. So what you're doing right now, shutting down the government, is exactly what you were elected to do. And anybody that tells you you shouldn't be doing it, don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them.
Because Right or not, you were elected for a specific reason, and when you're standing up for it, that is what politicians should be doing for the people they represent.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Absolutely. So hopefully they stand their ground when it comes to the debt ceiling. I don't know if they will. I'm not so sure. Some are falling off the bandwagon saying, well, let's just open it back up. We love government. I have an aide sitting at home that took a government job, expecting it to be the cushiest job that can go on forever.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm telling you,
You're worked up. You're getting worked up
about this. We're going to take a break, though, and we will be back. 248-455 odds. Thanks for calling everyone.
Or not.
You just haven't made the cut to get on the show, so I apologize.
No.
But we'll be right back.
Everyone has a story. Don't spend a lifetime trying to get published. Millions of independent authors are making money publishing their own works now. Most companies only want a celebrity author, making it impossible for the first-time author to succeed. Many will end up self-publishing, which until recently meant spending a large sum of money for a few copies of a book you had to sell yourself. We are Starry Night Publishing, and we help authors get published, distributed, retain your rights, and collect the royalties, charging less than $300 to cover production costs, creating a top-notch book you will be proud of. Simply send us your story, we'll proofread it, create a cover and table of contents, compile the text and images, convert the files for e-readers, take care of all the copyright and ISBN, distribute your story worldwide, and pay royalties. Everything is included. Last year we published more than 300 books. Join StarryNightPublishing.com and gain the worldwide exposure you deserve. Find us online at StarryNightPublishing.com. StarryNightPublishing.com.
Red State Talk Radio. Red State Talk Radio.
The idea of government taking over healthcare is enough to make you sick.
The conservative voice.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. That's 1-800-257-2873.
When it comes to TV, if you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best value in entertainment. Not only will you find the same channels you know and love for less, Dish sweetens the deal with free HD for life and premium movie channels free for 3 months, including Blockbuster at home. You can also save a bundle when you combine DishNet high-speed internet with your TV service. Why would you ever pay more for TV? Switch to Dish and see what real value is. Free HD for life, premium channels free for 3 months, scores of movies with Blockbuster at home, premium savings when you bundle DishNet high-speed internet service. Limited time offer, 24-month agreement with credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Call for details.
Call Dish Satellite, your Dish authorized retailer now. 800-507-9468. 800-507-9468. 800-507-9468. That's 800-507-9468.
Red State Talk Radio.
Why spend more than you have to on your life insurance? Did you know that term life insurance rates have fallen over 60% in the last 15 years? At the Life Insurance Quote Line, we monitor the rates, features, and financial strength of hundreds of life insurance products. For example, a healthy 40-year-old can protect his family with $500,000 of 10-year level term for less than $20 a month. Rates for women are even lower. And don't forget to ask us about the new term life policies that guarantee your money back even if you don't die. Since 1986, we've helped tens of thousands of people just like you save a fortune on their life insurance. Why not find out how much you can save? Write down this number and call today for your free quote. One 5-minute call is all it takes. Call 800-610-3497. 800-610-3497. That's 800-610-3497. Rates, policy forms, and availability vary by state.
You remember Dr. Ben Carson, right?
I do. As a guy who said, I'm a Second Amendment guy, but you don't need assault weapons in the city.
Right. And he also, not in the city, who does? And he...
SWAT.
He also said...
I mean...
He also didn't really
DHS,
like Obamacare too much.
The Department of Homeland Security, Department of Education, the IRS, NASA,
everybody.
the Park
EPA.
Police.
All of them. They all have SWAT teams.
They all do.
Well, apparently after he made that nasty...
Anyway, other than that, he's a great conservative.
Yeah. Apparently after saying that at that breakfast of last February.
Where he was 10 feet away from Barack Hussein Obama and just trashed Obamacare, saying, I've been a doctor for more years than Obama has...
Been alive.
Well, that's not true, but I was going to say been relevant. And which has really only been 5 years.
Right.
I don't think Obamacare is the way to do it. Then basically Obamacare sucks and said all the other true things about it.
Guess what he said?
When?
Dr. Carson. I had my first encounter with the IRS shortly after that.
Purely coincidence?
I'm sure it is. It was just time.
The IRS is not known for targeting people that this president disagrees with.
Not for political reasons.
No,
ever.
they have never targeted anybody for political reasons.
Ask
ever.
Al Capone.
Ever. Speaking of Al Capone, I saw his cell at Alcatraz.
How was it?
He wasn't in there.
What?
I guess he got out. I don't know.
He wasn't in there now.
Yeah, right.
He was in there in the past.
I mean, that's what the sign said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't believe signs.
I don't know. You know what I realized?
There's signs that say gun-free zones, and we know that's not true.
You know what I realized?
What?
I'm pretty sure Alcatraz is probably closed right now. Ooh, I hadn't even thought of that.
It is. You got in just in time.
I did. One of the last people to ever see Alcatraz.
Nate Nephew. The Nate Nephew Alcatraz story.
Ooh, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to call our new sponsor.
And use some of those photographs you used. You took a bunch of photographs.
A few nice ones.
Very nice ones.
Yep. Yeah, no.
You didn't have the morgue, though.
No. I don't know why. Probably because I spent all the time looking at it and didn't think to take a picture.
Sort of disturbingly obsessed with it.
No, that's not true. I mean, people asked me to move out of the way because I'd been there too long.
Really, sir?
No, that's not true.
Get your hands out of your pants.
No, come on.
All I know is when you emailed me, you said, "Oh, I'm in the morgue now. This is so cool." I knew something was wrong.
Should I tell the truth that while I was gone for a week, I didn't email you once because it was liberating to know that you were so far away.
That just hurts me, Nate. Yeah, when you talk like that, it just it hurts. It doesn't help our relationship at all.
That's too bad.
Let's move on to school anti-gun indoctrination. It continues. 7th grader suspended for a toy gun keychain. This is not the first time.
One of your favorite topics, isn't it?
It is. I hate this.
You like to cover
I hate
this.
One. Banned from school because he had a tiny little keychain that had a little gun on it, about the size of a quarter. The thing is, they suspended him, so he's going to miss some kind of big testing he needs. He's in the advanced math class, so he'll have to redo all of that. My point was that'll teach these delinquents, these honor students. Let's get these honor students kicked out of school because we don't want them because they're smart and they think for themselves. We just want the dullards in school that will go on and continue to churn out the propaganda of the government.
Leave no child behind except the smart ones.
Except the smart ones. We don't want them.
And when Bush put that in place, that's exactly what happened. But yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Honor students are the ones that are not contributing to society
at all.
I mean, believe me, I would know.
Yeah. Were you an honor student?
I think so.
Ooh, well then I'm all for Common Core and
there's obviously
wow,
obviously something wrong with the curriculum
right
at that school that lets somebody like that be valedictorian.
Wow. I wasn't. I graduated second from the bottom and very proud of it.
Which lets you know that they probably had a proper curriculum for advancing the people that they knew might be useful.
Well, I went to a private Catholic
school.
Right,
yeah, well.
They were trying to keep me down.
But now you're a very successful geologist.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know
why
the
that
difference
is.
between rock and stone.
I know a nice rock from a not nice rock.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
SWAT officer is asked by school not to wear his uniform and gun when picking up his daughter. Enst Elementary School in Mesa, Arizona. Can you believe it? Arizona.
Yeah, but he's a cop.
He received the school received some complaints because my kid saw that this officer had a gun and it frightens the children, and so we got to make sure the kids are all afraid of guns. And even if law enforcement officers have guns, and
yeah, how
think of the children. I'm not done. Think of the children.
All right, here I'll just mute him real quick. How messed up are people becoming in this country that not just anybody walks into a school with a firearm, but a police officer walks into a school and parents are complaining that they don't want him in there. Even Barack Hussein Obama has finally embraced the NRA's plan of armed security guards in schools.
Right.
Now, that's not reported very widely, but he's now saying, well, maybe we should have more guns in schools.
$45 million.
Yep. Moron. All you wanted to do was disagree with the NRA when you knew they were right, and now you think, well, I need to get reelected.
But I can't have the NRA. I can't have the NRA. He's not going to get reelected.
His friends.
Oh.
Well, no, he's not. He's just going to appoint himself. But, his friends get his friends reelected.
356 new school resource officers. First one's going to where? Newtown, Connecticut. Sandy Hook.
Well, think of all the repeat mass shootings we've had in high schools.
At
they
the
always
same
happen
schools?
in the same school twice.
Yeah,
I mean, every time, right?
I don't think that's ever happened.
Oh.
I don't know where you're getting your information.
MSNBC.
Okay. Excellent.
Is that an okay place? Or they're definitely more reliable than something like Fox.
Ooh, Fox.
Yeah, I know.
And indoctrination continues when a female student at Canyon High School in Anaheim, that's in California, by the way, was ordered to change out of her T-shirt because it promoted the NRA. Now, Haley said she was sent to the principal's office for violating the school's dress code that forbids, get this, offensive, violent, or divisive clothing.
Well, it was violent.
I don't know that it was.
Offensive? Divisive? What?
The offensive shirt was a gift from her father. She gave it to her when she became a member of the NRA. The shirt shows a deer, an American flag, and a hunter silhouette. And under this is inscribed, National Rifle Association of America, protecting America's traditions since 1871. Now, I think that was the offensive part.
1871?
Yeah.
The date? That's a bad year, because that's when the NRA started writing gun control laws.
Right. Shortly after that.
I know a child that may or may not have worn an NRA shirt. It was NRA written in crayons, like crayons made up the letters.
Uh-huh.
No problems.
Huh. Well, I guess Haley's dad had a problem because I guess the school has a drill team that uses fake rifles in their performance, and that's allowed.
But did they shoot at Bambi?
Well, and then she said that the school's mascot is the Comanche. When he says, if you consider the image of hunters to be offensive, certainly there are groups that would consider the Comanche Indian chief to be offensive.
I'm sure that'll change. The Washington Redskins shouldn't keep their name.
I
it's
don't know
offensive
about
in a different way.
That, but if you have a school T-shirt that has a Comanche on it, those kids should be kicked out too, or be told to change
told
their
that they
shirt.
can't wear their shirt. Absolutely. You know what I would do? I would get her NRA everything, or maybe Gun Owners of America is what I would do. Hat, shirt, shoes, underwear. Send her to school, and that's it. That's all I would do. I was only ever asked to change my shirt once, and it's just because it said the word "suck" on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to turn it inside out. I was distraught.
That explains a lot about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one thing, and I know who did it. I know
who
that.
sucked
I remember. You? No, I remember the teacher that made me change it. He was also one of my favorites, which is ironic.
Which is odd.
It's ironic.
I don't know if it's ironic.
That's because you don't know what ironic means.
Yeah, I know what irony means.
It is ironic.
No, it's not ironic.
I want to remind you, we're out of time. Look us up on Facebook, facebook.com/AtOddShow. Stay tuned into Red State Talk Radio right here. You can listen to past shows on atoddshow.com. And, of course, we will be live when, Brian?
I don't know. Next week sometime.
Next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Standard
time.
Eastern
Right.
Standard Time.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.